Hello, I'm Ross Tudell from Cultaholic.com, and this is Sam Driver, and Sam Driver has put away his guitar because we have some bloody serious, massive news. Here are the headlines. First of all, Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff have been hired as executive directors in WWE. We have a shockingly low attendance for this week's SmackDown Live. And we have some more bad news for Stomping Grounds, where we kicked all of the ass and took many names. So let's get straight into it. Sports Illustrated have had it confirmed to them by a spokesperson at WWE. Paul Heyman is now the executive director of Monday Night Raw, and Eric Bischoff is now, as my hay fever kicks in, is the executive director of SmackDown Live. This means that those two men are running those two respective shows. Whatever system's in place now, it's gone. Those two men will report directly to Vince McMahon. Sam, your thoughts?
They're still got to report to Vince.
Directly?
Yeah. So,
oh, God.
Yeah, they've still got to report to Vince directly, and I think like the big thing is it's huge, it's massive. Obviously, you've got Heyman, you've got Bischoff, both creative geniuses in their like respective arenas of wrestling. At least Bischoff was for quite a while, and I think it's great that we've got this. Obviously, Heyman had the SmackDown 6, that whole period of time, and I just worry that reporting back to Vince is still going to get a lot of things just shot down.
Yes, I never thought about that. I got very excited because I was thinking, finally, Raw and SmackDown Live.
Sorry to bring
going to have
down.
two. Because Bischoff's been very outspoken about his thoughts on the brand split. I've seen an interview with Kenny McIntosh at Inside the Ropes recently where he says it needs to be given its own feel. And this, that, and the other things we all say every single day. So I was thinking, finally, they've got two men who gave their two brands, ECW and WCW, back in the day, very distinctive feels. This will be great because finally Raw will feel like one way, SmackDown will feel another. It'll be great. But then you've put that bombshell, which was in the text anyway.
They just need to split the shows. No more wildcard rule, no more nothing. 2 nights a year maybe, or like 3 or 4 nights a year where the shows mix. That's it. And keep it all separate, make it feel like 2 different shows, give them 2 different looks. And I don't mean like just the same amount of screens arranged in a different way, like Raw and SmackDown.
Oh no, different.
Like different. It needs to look and feel different. Maybe just, gut everything and start from the ground up again.
While Heyman is obviously a genius and a wonderful man, I'm more excited about Bischoff because during that Kenny interview I was referencing just before, he said that WWE's production is just too perfect. And I agree on that so wholeheartedly. I couldn't agree with it anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
SmackDown will hopefully feel grittier because Bischoff's at the helm. And he can hopefully wrangle Vince McMahon to say, Vince, we don't need LED screens and HD things everywhere. Let's just make it feel realer.
I think
and more tangible.
Yeah, and Bischoff, for a period of time, WCW had more camera angles than WWE. They had the men on the box at the side of the rings and stuff, which
that was on Raw this week.
Back, and Bischoff has worked in TV. Bischoff is a TV producer. I think Heyman does to a degree as well, but Bischoff, I think, has had some success in other fields of TV in terms of working as a producer. And so I think he knows what he's talking about. I'd like to see a more straightforward sports style presentation. None of this crash zoom in, none of that nonsense. And maybe, like you said, less of the LED stuff everywhere because, it's impressive, but
once you've seen it, though, you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, and the ring posts are like 15 feet thick.
And I guess it's also worth mentioning here that Bischoff will be working directly with the executives of Fox. Fox, of course, will be taking SmackDown Live from October the 4th. So, Jesus Christ, that's bloody big news, isn't it?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
And it's also worth mentioning that Sports Illustrated have learned it's not going to be bled into storylines. This is a distinctively backstage thing. These two men will be the captains, Heyman of Raw and Bischoff of SmackDown Live, which means, I guess, Lesnar will be losing Heyman.
Do you think that they're going to get full control of writing staff? They're going to get to pick and choose who they surround
Hopefully
themselves
Heyman
with,
can bring back in Brian Gewirtz from back in the day and stuff like that. Hopefully Vince is putting his faith, with obviously the XFL coming up, Vince's attention for Raw and SmackDown is going to be lessened.
No, he can do it all.
No, he can't.
He can do it all.
He can't. He needs to sleep. Vince, have more than 2 hours sleep a night, please. Hopefully he's just gone, Paul, Eric, you're 2 experienced men in this field. I put my faith in you. Within reason, you're obviously going to have to report back to me, but I put my faith in you, and you run these shows how you see fit. Make them feel differently, make them feel like Raw and SmackDown are actually going head-to-head, which I think will become more prominent because obviously SmackDown is going to a new station, a new network.
Yeah.
So there's competition there between USA and Fox. So hopefully it's just good. So next up we go to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, where he reckons this week's SmackDown Live, we've all seen the pictures with the tarpon covering half the arena and sections of the seat. He reckons this week's SmackDown Live had between 1,500 and 2,000 people in attendance. And that's low.
It's not even low, that's shockingly low.
That's the song they sung about with the low, low, low. Was it? I can't remember. I'm trying to think. It's about 2007 and I can't. There is a reason for this, boys and girls, and that's because obviously WWE had 3 events this week. They had Stomping Grounds, where we kicked the ass and took the names on Sunday. We had Monday Night Raw, and then we had SmackDown Live on Tuesday. All 3 shows took place within 202 miles of each other. So that's got to have played a part, but still...
It's got to have played a part, but the thing is, if this was 1999, it'd be full. Every single night.
It's not a new thing, is it, with WWE and section off half the arena, but it's been hammered home this week especially. We had the reports at Stomping Grounds that it was between 4,000 and 4,500 people paid, but 6,000 people in the arena, which has 23,000 seats. Why would they run Stomping Grounds in an arena that big to begin with? Beggars belief, but they did. Then this week's Raw apparently had 3,500 people there, and then this week's SmackDown Live at most, according to Alvarez, had 2,000 people there. So that means for 3 WWE main roster shows in 3 days, there was tops 11,500 people there accumulatively.
It's scary, that.
That is, whoa.
It's terrifying.
What, does Washington not like wrestling?
What does it mean for business?
I don't know. But I don't know. Should we name and shame the arenas? We had the Tacoma Dome in Washington for Stomping Grounds. Ooh. Shame. We had the Winds Arena in Everett, Washington. Boo. Shame. And then we had, where the hell's it gone? We had the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Shame.
What even is a Moda?
They're too busy shagging in Portland, Oregon. That's what they're famous for, isn't it? What? I don't know. Corey Graves made reference to
Portland's famous for people being weird.
Sexy people.
But it's got to the point where they're aware of it, so now they do weird stuff to be like, oh, it's so strange. Portland ain't as cool as it used to be. I'm calling them out.
All right then. So hopefully this news of Heyman and Bischoff taking control brings the people back in. I don't think it will, but hopefully it's the start of something good. More bad news for Stomping Grounds. Where, Sam? What did we do? What did we do, Sam? What did we do?
Kicked some ass.
We did.
And we took some names.
But not many people saw it. Kind of. Believe it or not, even though the WWE Network is a thing, you can still buy individual pay-per-views the old-fashioned way via the box office, and only, apparently, in the United States of America, 9,800 people did that, and that's once again according to those over at Wrestling Observer Radio. Sam, your thoughts?
It's like pay-per-views go in the way of print media and radio. It's going to be a dead thing. I think it'll only exist for things like boxing, for things like, big one-off events.
Yeah.
They do I think they simulcast things like live concerts and stuff, that sort of thing. Like one-off big events, fine. Pay-per-view will always exist for that, I think. But it's when you've got something like the WWE Network and you already have the majority of your viewer base is using it, it's odd that people are still buying pay-per-views.
It is still odd.
I don't understand why people are still doing it.
But people are still doing this. You're probably sat there at home thinking, Ross, why is this news? Well, let me tell you, according to those over at Wrestling Observer Radio, the average buys for a main roster pay-per-view is between 15 and 16,000. WrestleMania 35, which I know is it's a different case, it's WrestleMania. Yeah. It did 100,000 buys on pay-per-view. That's on top of the network.
Is that globally?
Which I find staggering. It maybe. But the initial Stomping Grounds figure is for the United States alone.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Do they not know that if you sign up you get a free month?
They obviously
$9.99.
And if you want to compare Stomping Grounds numbers to another recent show, let's take Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia, which did around 11,000 buys.
11,000 buys?
11,000 stupid households.
Wow. It's the pay-per-views are. Is it the UK? The pay-per-views are $9.99 now.
Is it $9.99? I thought they were like 30, 40
quid.
They're
like 30, 40 quid still. I'm sure I'd read somewhere they were $9.99 or they were going to be $9.99 with BT or something with that deal. But for that price, just pay for the network.
It beggars belief how you can sit there and watch. Obviously, these people don't watch Raw and SmackDown because we see Michael Cole 5 times a show saying, get it on the network, get your free month and then pay $9.99. Idiots. And finally, we end with a bit more light-hearted news in this doom and gloom times for WWE, which should be getting better with the arrival of Bischoff and Heyman. Chris Jericho has been a guest on the Bubba Army podcast. Or is it podcast? It says podcast here.
Podcast.
Hopefully it means podcast. I guess it's a podcast. He's revealed which superstars have their own locker rooms in WWE. And believe me, for a bit of clickbaitiness right now, there's a shocking name. Who doesn't?
I don't know if it's that shocking, you know. We'll get there.
Well, let's see.
We'll let everybody else judge, but I don't think it's that shocking.
This is some shocking revelations here from Chris Jericho, who says that big guys such as Goldberg and Brock Lesnar or The Rock, they get their own locker rooms.
I don't... it's sort of expected that.
It is expected,
Yeah.
of course it is. But he also mentioned that The Undertaker does not have a separate locker room, but he does get changed in the talent relations room. So because apparently there's like 50 people all in one room, so one less big tattooed man is obviously more room for other people. So how considerate of The Undertaker to get dressed in his own, well, the talent relations room.
Why do you find it shocking Undertaker doesn't have his own?
Because it's The Undertaker. I know he's been wrestling for 35 years at this point, and he deserves it. But, you know, it's The Undertaker. He rocks up once in a blue moon. Of course he's going to have his own locker room, isn't he?
He's the locker room leader. Whenever he's there, he's
He used
locker
to
room
be,
leader.
when he was there
but,
full time.
If he's there, I assume that the duties are handed over to him.
No.
He is the guy.
Do you reckon that's how it works?
I reckon that he stays with everybody else because he wants to show that he's not above everybody else, that he's still a part of it, and that, you know, he's still sort of locker room leader, so don't mess with him.
Maybe they were right all along when they were calling him the conscience of WWE.
And he's got to get dressed in the talent relations room because of his massive dong.
Has he got a massive willy?
I don't know.
Cesaro's got a massive willy. So if
Ooh.
you've got Cesaro's massive willy and Undertaker's massive willy in one locker room,
They'd have
maybe
to
it's
have a
not
fight.
enough. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. We end this news video today, this monumental news video, with the thought of Cesaro and The Undertaker crossing swords. I've been Ross Trudell from Cultaholic.com. He's been Sam Driver without his guitar.
Very quick. Do you know what yesterday was, Ross?
What was yesterday?
It was our 1 month anniversary.
Was it?
Yes, it
was. Oh, congratulations. I'm not wearing my ring.
I know you're
In
not.
my mind, Sam, I've divorced you already. Why is it taking so long?
That's hurtful. I'm gone.
Get
I'm
out of
gone.
here, you prick. See you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us